Okay, last but not least, we have made our way to Explore Performance Task Prompt 2E, where you will cite your sources that you used in working on your project. And I'm going to obviously do some show and tell again with my Three Musketeers work and from last year. But I also want to go over a couple of things about the instructions for Prompt 2E and also what the Rubric Row says. So Prompt 2E says that you must provide a list of 3 online or print sources that you use to create your artifact and or support your responses. So this means that you could use 3 sources for creating your artifact and no sources for writing your written responses. That would be allowable. However, I am a teacher and you are a student and you want college credit for this work, so I would implore you not to do that. You need to cite sources used in your artifact, and you need to also cite sources where you support the responses and the claims that you have made. Maybe you have 5 sources here and 3 here. Maybe you have 3 here and 4 here. The math part doesn't matter. You need 3 total. But I would tell you that supporting your claims in your is college level work. It's also high school level work. I would also say citing sources that you use to create your representation is academically sound work. So please do the right thing. Don't do the bare minimum. Do the correct academic level of work. I think College Board is being generous and helpful and realistic when they write it this way. So here are the details about the citations. 2 of the citations must have been created after June of 2017 if you're talking about the 17-18 school year. If you have an online source, they want a complete URL. They want you to identify it. I would say you could use EasyBib or any of the online tools that allow you to paste in the URL and it will populate for you the MLA or the APA citation. If not, work that up yourself. For each printed source, like a book or a magazine, they want the standard information. If your school and your English teachers use MLA, then use MLA for this. If they use APA or a different style, use that style. If you interview a source, include, just like you would on an English paper or anything else, the day you interview them, who the person is, why are they an expert. And then the last thing that I would tell you is you need relevant, credible sources. Do not edit a Wikipedia page yourself and then cite that Wikipedia page. That is not okay. Do not create a blog and fill it with information and cite the blog that you just created. That would be silly. It sounds crazy, but things like that happen actually in the real world and certainly in college and perhaps in high school. So please don't do that. Do what you have been taught all of your middle school years through high school years about writing well and citing sources. College Board wants to see where the citations are used in the body of the work, as well as have them detailed out in Section 2E. So if you look at the rubric row, it says references throughout in-text citations at least 3 different sources. So you cannot use one source 3 times. It has to be 3 different sources. They would each be used at least once somewhere. Notice that this applies to your artifact and or your written response. If you used sources, and everybody will, for your artifact, you could cite them here, or I think you could also cite them up in 2B where you explain how you created your artifact. So either place, if you list them here, I would separate them from the ones that I used. That's what I want you to do as my student. Separate them from the ones that you use in the written responses. So notice that you're not going to get a point if it's a list only and there's nothing in text. You're also not going to get a point if you just plop in URLs only. So let's look at what our 3 example guys did. And the first one, and I'm not going to know, I guess I will know. This is fingerprint scanners. So he has numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got a complete citation. And if I go up into the body of his written response, here's where he used number 3. I would be able to find where he used number 2. Here's where he used number 1. Here's number 4. So he's used at least 3 right there, and he has them all listed. He doesn't have sources listed for his artifact. He doesn't have them listed here. That was not required in the school year 16-17. It will be required moving forward, so make sure that you do that. All right, the next one I want to show you is the Phantom drone. He did his similarly, but a little different. My computer's kind of going haywire. He numbered them with kind of a numbered list. Up in the body of his work, he used little superscript numbers to identify where he used them in a sentence or a response. And then the last one, and I'm sharing 3 of these because they're all just a little bit different. He used numbers encased in parentheses. And in the body of his paper, he's placed them the same way. So you've got 3 different styles. It is not wrong if he had used the last name, but it is preferable that you use numbers. So you're not writing this for your English teacher or maybe your history teacher, so use numbers, number your sources, and number them when you refer to them. That is one difference in how you might write this up for an English teacher. You probably noticed that the writing of this does not look like a research paper in double-spaced paragraphs. This is a technical writing, and so you want to be clear and concise and get to the point, and then distinguish your work with columns and rows in a template. That is prompt 2E. It's row 8. You are finished. You have done a great job listening and learning. I hope that your Explore performance task showcases what an awesome student you truly are. Have a great day.